If you've watched any amount of content on YouTube about music production, you've probably run into an ad for the UNISON MIDI chord pack. We've seen it work with Logic, FL Studio, Ableton, but how well does it work with iPad DAWs, and is it worth the investment? That is what we're getting into in this video. What is up, creatives? I'm Jahrell, your music technologist, here to help you master the tech you need to make music freely. I make weekly tip and tutorial videos as well as product reviews on all things music production. If you enjoy that kind of content, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to catch the next one. So a few weeks ago, I released a video about how to import MIDI chord packs into Beatmaker 3, and I'll link that video right up here as well as in the description. Check that out. But I showcased the UNISON MIDI chord pack just a little bit in that video, and I've been using it for inspiration since. Now, for those that don't know, the UNISON MIDI chord pack is a collection of MIDI files that you can drag and drop into any DAW. You heard that right. Any DAW. So that answers the question, is it going to work with Beatmaker 3? Yes. Is it going to work with Cubasis? Yes. Is it going to work with any iPad DAW? Yes, because it's simply drag and drop files. Now, what you're going to notice is there's a lot of files included in this kit. Now, I believe the website says it's about 1,200 MIDI files, but what many people aren't talking about is the fact that the files that really are helpful are the progressions. Now there's files with chords in it, and those aren't as helpful if you ask me. And we're gonna dive into Beatmaker 3 in a second and see why that is, but the progressions is where it's at. So at the time of recording this video, the UNISON MIDI chord pack goes for $27.99, I believe. That's how much it was when I bought it. Now, it says on the UNISON website that is a 60% discount, and I do not know how long that discount will last. This is not a sponsored video, and UNISON is not paying me to mention this. I'm just letting you guys know what it costs and share my thoughts and opinions on it as a whole. Now, if you bought the UNISON MIDI chord pack around the same time I did, it came with some exclusive bonuses. And some of those exclusive bonuses are PDFs that go through basically some mini music theory lessons. Now, I've studied music theory for the majority of my life, but if you're somebody that doesn't have that experience, those documents can be very helpful for you. I will add that they are a little bit wordy for people that have never dealt with music theory before. It might be confusing a little bit, but they're worth checking out. All right, without further ado, let's jump into Beatmaker 3 and see what we can put together with something from the UNISON MIDI chord pack. You know what? I'm gonna ditch the hat so I have room for the headphones. There we go. All right, so we're gonna open up Beatmaker 3. Here we go. And I've already got a blank session loaded. So the first thing we wanna do is set a tempo. So I'm gonna go up here and click this button here. And you might think I'm crazy for this, but I'm gonna set a pretty high tempo of 200. Now you might think that's super high, but remember I do my beats mostly in double time, so it's like 100. We've got that in, so let's hear how quick that is. All right, sounds good. Next step, we got to load up an instrument. So we've already got a bank open. Let's create an instrument here. We'll go to Plugin, Audio Unit V3, and I'm going to go for Primer this time. Now, Primer is a plugin I haven't mentioned yet on this channel, but it's free. Check it out in the App Store. There's actually a lot of good synth sounds in here. Pull up our MIDI once we've got it. There we go. Primer loaded. All right, and I'm going to go to this folder. We're going to go to Pluck and Popcorn. All right, and that's what that sounds like. All right. Cool. So now that we have an instrument loaded, we can go ahead and drag over some UNISON MIDI chord pack files. We'll go up here, go back to the playlist tab, and I'm going to go ahead and set my loop to 8 bars just because I'm pretty sure that's how long I want it to be. Go up here to the top, and we're going to go to the file folder, hit imports, hit UNISON MIDI chord pack, and again, and again, and again. I know. For whatever reason, Unison just has file folders on file folders. Anyway, continuing on, and here's where you can start to choose your keys. Now you'll notice each folder here has 2 keys on it. For those of you that are familiar with music theory, there's a major key and there's a corresponding minor key known as the relative minor. So those keys are laid out here. If you don't know what that means, you don't have to. That's okay. So we're gonna go with the key of D minor, which is also the same as F major. All right, and here are the options you have. Now, like I said, there's the chord folders that to me aren't as useful, and I'll tell you why. Beatmaker 3 has a lot of built-in features that you can put in any chords you want pretty much with the push of a button without having to drag in MIDI files. And for me, I think that's way more valuable and way more efficient than using the chords in here. Now, what is valuable is having a pre-built chord progression for you, and that's why we're going to go in and press the progressions folder. Now, I like the advanced progressions because they have a lot of cool jazzy chords in there, so we'll go with that. And like I said, we want to do the minor key, so I'm going to click minor progressions, and we're going to go with minor progression 10. I'm going to press and hold, and I'm going to drag it over, drop it right there. We do not need to transpose because it's in the key we want already, and if we don't like it, we can always change that later. So we're not going to transpose, and we will import. Boom, there it is. I'm going to exit out here. Let's double tap on our MIDI file and see what we got. There is our MIDI data. It is as if somebody played it in for us. Well, let's give that a listen. Yeah, those are some nice chords. I don't know about you, but I probably wouldn't have come up with that complex of a progression right off the bat. And if I did, it would have taken probably close to hours of my time. Now, like I said in my previous video, the best thing about this is all of these MIDI tracks are completely configurable. You can change them however you need to. If you want to switch out one of these chords with a different one, you have that ability. You can literally select a note and drag it where you want it. I'm going to undo that because I like all the notes here, but you have that ability. So that's what's so cool and so clutch about dragging in MIDI files. We're going to see what we can do with this beat. So let's drag in some drums. I'm going to go ahead and create a new bank. And we will... So we're actually going to go in and select some samples that we can put for our drums. Imports folder. And I'm going to go with the Sunny Digital Drum Kit because a lot of Sunny's drums, I got these from Splice. A lot of them, they hit so hard. So let's go with kick 9, load that here. Let's get a snare. Let's go with O2. I like a good snap every once in a while. I like that for our hat. We'll load that. Good 808, can't hurt. Put that here. Let's get an open hi-hat in there. Okay, cool, so let's play some drums in. I'm gonna go ahead and edit my quantize. We'll go with quarter. All right, here we go. All right, I think I like that. All right, let's get some hi-hat in there. All right, here we go. I think I like that. I think the next thing I want to do is play some bass in right here. So let's find a good bass. I'm going to add a new bank. And then we will add a plugin. And the plugin I'm going to go for is Bassalicious 2. You know what it is. And we'll go to my faves. I like classic synth bass. try number 2. So that just goes to show you guys, it's not too hard to put together a beat when you've got the right inspiration. I didn't even have to mess with chords at all because I was able to come up with something based off of this inspiration. So the question is the Unison MIDI chord pack worth it to you? Now that's going to depend on who you are. If you're somebody that is gifted on the keys like I am not, if you have the ability to just come up with amazing chords on the fly, or you've trained your ear really well to pick up good harmony, then maybe you don't need this, but it is definitely a good inspiration when you're feeling a beat block. I've come up with some pretty great chords myself for my own beats, if I do say so myself. But this really does help me get through feeling a lack of inspiration. And that brings me to my question of the day. What do you guys do, you producers out there, what do you do to help you get through beat block, being uninspired? Drop some tools, help out the community down in the comments section. So you guys, that does it for this video. I'm gonna try to add some stuff to this track, make it sound pretty dope, but I hope you guys got some value out of this. If some of the things I did in this walkthrough looked a little complicated to you and you're not super comfortable in Beatmaker 3 yet, definitely check out my Beatmaker 3 playlist that I'm gonna link right up here in the top corner, as well as down in the description. I have lots of helpful resources in there of the videos I've made so far covering Beatmaker 3. Now, as always, creatives, go out there and make something dope. You know what? I just realized, I keep telling you guys to go out there and make something dope. We're all in quarantine. Creatives, stay home and make something dope. And I'll see you in the next video.